guys, so as you've seen in part 1, you're already seeing the unboxing and the ceramic coating of the headers themselves, as well as the catless mid-pipes. Today I'm going to be running you through basic ways to get the old ones off, the old collectors and manifolds off, and put on the new headers and new catless mid-pipes. So it's not going to be the most in-depth guide. It's pretty straightforward. Take off the old stuff, put on the new stuff. But if I see something that I think is interesting, or it has something that could make it a little bit more difficult, which there is one point I know about and I'm going to show you guys, but that's what I'm going to kind of be focusing on today. And I'm going to throw in a couple before clips as well as a couple after clips of the exhaust. So hope you guys are ready. Stay tuned. All right, so before we get too much further, I'm actually going to show you roughly where I'm sitting at as far as these mid pipes. So as you know, the first thing you got to take off is the mid pipes. So on this driver's side, what I wanted to show you is this stud right here. Now the problem with it is that one just broke off, so I'm gonna have a heck of a time trying to get it the rest of the way off. This one right here, I'm gonna try and find a better angle. There's not really any good way to see it. Anyway, there's another one on this same catalytic converter on the driver's side that's really difficult to get to. However, I'll scoot over to the passenger side. This one's really easy to get to. As a matter of fact, this mid pipe is ready to cut off. This stud here has already been backed out of the back side of the manifold, as well as this one over here has also been backed out of the back side of the manifold. So I apologize for the bad camera angles, but once we get this out, I'm gonna throw them side by side, the new ones, and basically just compare and contrast what it's gonna look like. So stay tuned, guys. This mid-pipe's about to come out, but it is a butt. Now, something else you want to keep in mind, these O2 sensor plugs right here. You're going to see this little black bracket on the passenger side with the plug right there. And you're going to see this little white plug. However, it's not attached to a bracket. It's just kind of stuck in with that right up against the side of the transmission, right there on that little hole. Now you can see the other plug, so it kind of gives you a general idea where it's supposed to be at. But that's where you're looking in comparison to the catalytic converter right here. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll keep you guys updated whenever I get this mid-pipe out.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies. Hold on, just let us escape and fly.
All right, everybody. Whew, that was a pain in the ass, as you already seen. Oh, I'm shaking. Jesus, that thing is heavy. But I went ahead and laid the new pipe next to the old pipe so you can see how it's going to lay out. Now, the extensions aren't in the same place. However, I did realize that I was wrong in my first video. You don't need the extensions for the first one, you need the extensions for the second one. So, whew, that was difficult. So, I'm gonna keep going, and the old one of them is out. Gotta get the other one. We got the old ones out. They're retardedly heavy and stupid and a pain in the ass.
Who got it out?
But the new ones, in comparison,
Wait, who got it out?
new ones are a lot better. I said we. Actually, him and that girl right there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, girl. Now, all right, we'll be back later. Okay, everybody, it is the next day. It is Saturday. So last night, the last time I updated you was when we had both of the stock manifolds off and we were inputting the very first header, which was the one on the driver's side. So after getting that in and getting that bolted down, I kind of wanted to update you on how we did that and what you need to look forward to as far as doing the passenger side as well. Now keep in mind they are very, very similar, so it's not too much to difference. You're just literally changing the side. So anyway, so another thing that I want to tell you guys before I get to that is If you guys have car ramps, those are going to help you out a lot. But you also are going to need a couple other things. You're going to need a set of jack stands, and you're going to need a jack. Now, I understand that sounds weird that you're going to need all three, but there's actually a method to my madness. So obviously you want to pull the car up onto the ramps, then you want to start jacking it up, and then put the jack stands under it. Then you're going to move the jack underneath of the engine on a nice solid point where you can jack it up and you don't have to worry about crushing anything. The oil pan's not recommended because it's pretty thin. On these newer models, it's actually really thick, so it's not a huge thing to worry about, but it is still something that you kind of want to keep away from if possible inside. So what we actually ended up having to do is, let me turn the camera around for you. Sorry if the camera's shaky. I was up till like midnight last night. So what you're gonna see is on this side here, there's actually down towards the bottom underneath the headers, there is a engine mount. So basically where the engine mounts to the frame and then the transmission's behind it, as you guys already know. What you're gonna need to do, there's 2 bolts. Now it says in the instruction manual it's 18 millimeter, but I think those are for the older Chargers. So mine were actually 16 millimeter bolts. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your jack and you're gonna put it underneath of the engine and you're gonna start jacking the engine up. Now what it's gonna do is it's gonna relieve some of the pressure off of the suspension, so the car will come up just a little bit. Not really something huge to worry about. Just keep adjusting your jack stands, making sure everything's done properly and safely. Take your time, don't crush your hands, all that good stuff. So once you get the jacks up there and the suspension's finally relieved, the weight of the engine's taken off of it, what you're gonna notice is the bracket with the engine mount on it is going to start to separate. Now what you need to do is you need to move that bracket or lift the engine up about an inch. Like I'm talking like that much. I'm not kidding you. It's not much, but it's a tight fit. So what you're going to need to do is jack the engine up just 1 inch, get about a 1 inch space between the actual mount and the frame, and then you're going to be able to slide your headers in there. Now right now I just got them hung up on 2 bolts on the bottom. So on the bottom studs I put 2 bolts in and then hung the header on them, so I can kind of explain this next part to you. The reason why you want to do it that way is because if you look at your gasket, this is the same way that the headers are made. I really just did that. I'll get those out later. So this is the gasket, and on the passenger side the gasket's going to be facing like this. So make sure the big 3 holes is up front because that's where your vent's coming out. But if you look at the bottom of the gasket, there's slits instead of holes. On top there's holes, but on the bottom it's slits. So what you can do is you put 1 bolt back here and 1 bolt up here. You hang the headers down on top of it, and then what you do is you just kind of push the bottom of them a little bit, so that way you can drop the gasket in from the top. Now the big reason why I want to do it this way is because you can damage these gaskets, and if they're damaged you're going to have to go get new ones, and if you have to go get new ones they're going to be expensive. At least the ones coming from Dodge are. So that's kind of what you're looking at. We'll go over it once again real quick. Lift the engine up 1 inch so it separates the mount from the frame. Then you're going to put 1 bolt here, 1 bolt here in the back of the head. Then you're going to hang the header on just like this and then pull it back like that. Then you're going to be able to take this gasket right here and slide it down from the top and push it down on top of them bolts so that the studs matches up here and here. And then what you can do is put 1 bolt here, 1 bolt here, just enough to lock it all in place. It's not going to slide around anymore. And then you can continue to go through all the bolts. I understand this isn't the most descriptive way of doing it, but it's, guys gotta keep in mind, these do come with instructions. So all you got to do is follow the instructions and it'll happen exactly like they say. That's pretty much it, guys. So what you're going to see next is when I actually have both headers hung, I'm going to go back under the vehicle after they're all bolted down, tightened up, and we're going to drop the engine back down and bolt it up. And then I'll pick up from there whenever I do that, because then we have to use the pipe expander to expand the stock exhaust section that it's going to connect up to, and we got to fit in the mid pipes. So once we get there, I'll show you how to do that, and I'll be back. Stay tuned. Alright everybody, so I just wanted to bring you in real quick and show you another step that you're going to have to worry about whenever you want to do this. So to be able to not throw code on your car, you're going to need to get two things which are called anti-foulers. I'll go get the packaging for you and show you exactly what they're called, but basically what it does is it takes the spark plug, or let's see if I got a good package. It takes the O2 sensors and it pulls them up out of the exhaust housing. That way they don't get messed up because you're not running catalytic converters anymore. So this is actually what they're called, spark plug non-foulers, and that's a part number for you, 7302443. And basically what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna get 2 packs of those, and they're gonna come in packs of 2s. You only need 2 of them because you only need the ones for the back O2 sensors. So just a quick breakdown of what you're doing. When you pull them out of the packaging, they're going to look like this. Now they're gonna have just a little bit of space on them, but what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to double stack them. So what you're gonna end up doing is taking a drill and a large drill bit, and you're gonna drill them out to where that one of them looks like this. A lot larger hole, lets the O2 sensors sit down in there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take them, both of them, you're going to put the one with the small opening on the bottom and the one with the large opening on top. And you're going to stack them in just like this. That way, whenever you get the completed unit, it's going to have the small hole in the bottom, but it's going to have the large opening up top, so you can still fit the O2 sensor in there. And I'm going to show you on this old manifold, and I'm also going to show you on the new one basically what it's going to look like. You're going to pull it. So right here is the old exhaust manifold, and now obviously you're going to be doing this on the mid pipes. You're not going to be doing it on the manifold itself or on the collector. So you'll just take this and you would take the double stack and find the threads. Okay, find the threads, thread it in, and then you'd put the O2 sensor on the top and tighten it all down as one unit. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to get these. I think they are $4 for a pack, and you only need 2 packs, but it's a good way to make sure that your check engine light doesn't come on. And well, if you're not running cats. If you're running cats, you don't have to worry about it, but if you aren't, you're going to have to do that, so that way your check engine light doesn't come on. It tricks the computer into thinking that your catalytic converters are still there, and just kind of helps the process. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll bring you back whenever we're underneath the car. Alright everybody, so I wanted to take the time real quick to actually do one half of the vehicle and leave the other half undone, completely stock the way it was from the factory. That way I can show you kind of what to expect. Now when I say stock from the factory, that means I haven't cut any pipes yet. So actually there's going to be a few things that you need if you want to use the same setup that I am. Once again, I do have the 5.7 Daytona, and I'm running the full-length headers and the catless mid pipes, and I'll make sure to have part numbers, if not on screen, at least down in the description for you guys. So some of the things you guys are going to need to make sure that this works. Now there's a toolkit that you can get from Advanced AutoZone or O'Reilly's, I believe. One of those 3, Advanced Auto Parts, or AutoZone, or O'Reilly's. Napa might have them too if you got them in that area. So what it is actually this pipe expander and cutter assembly kit. So what actually, if you're going to do it like I am, you're actually going to need this piece. I had the other piece underneath the car. I wanted to test something, but I forgot to put it back up here. But you're actually going to need this piece right here. Now the reason why is because on these cars, anything past the mid pipes, you're going to need to basically cut off the stock clamp that's there. Hence where this new one comes into place. So this is actually what it is. Now you guys are probably looking at it going 2.5 inch, but it's 3 inch. Yes, that's correct. The pipe that I am using is 3 inch, but the band clamps that you'll need are 2.5 inch, and I'll show you why here in just a minute when we get under the car. So I'm gonna hop up under there and try and get a decent video for you guys to show you kind of where you need to cut, and you need to put the new mid pipes up to kind of measure out where you need to cut it off, and then mark it with a Sharpie, and then you'd run that cutter tool. So I'll explain in a minute when I get under the vehicle. So I'm gonna try and run a dual type thing, guys. I have my headers here. As you can see, the front of the vehicle is towards the right of your screen and the back of the vehicle is towards the left. So I have my full-length headers right here. I'm shining the light on them so you can see them. I really hope you guys can see this as good as I can on my camera. But you'll have them coming down to about right at the front of the passenger side door. Now, once again, this is the passenger side, not the driver's side. The driver's side's been complete. And also, what you're going to notice is, let me get situated for you guys, right here. Now, what you would see from the factory is this kind of stock looking ring clamp type deal, and it's just garbage. It's absolute garbage. You can't expand anymore. You can't put a 3-inch pipe in there whatsoever. But now I'm going to show you what I did to make my system work the way I want it to, because I knew in the future I'm going to be upgrading to full 3-inch exhaust all the way back. Now, once again, this is the driver's side, so we have the full-length headers right here. We have our V-band clamp that you've seen in video 1, or part 1 of the 100 subscriber special, kind of explaining what's going on here. And then you have the mid-pipe right here. Now, once again, these have been coated, but don't worry about that. They will get scratched up. So you follow it all the way back, and you'll see the garbage exhaust ring right there, once again. And then you'll see the new one. Now, this is actually what that band comes in handy for. You will, let me see if I can't get it right up under here for you guys. Okay, so I'm shining down from bottom to top on this ring. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut the stock exhaust, which is on the right side back here, to meet up exactly with the end of the new exhaust, which is right here. And then what you're going to do is, after you get them all mated up and cleaned up, after you cut them, you're going to take this big clamp right here with these 1 bolt on each side. And this is why you need the 2.5 inch. So the stock exhaust is 2.75 and the new exhaust is 3 inches. And I know you guys are thinking, well, neither of those are even remotely close to 2.5 inches, but actually it does matter because of the length of these bolts. Now, if you look, there's actually quite a good length on these bolts, and that's to help you get it started. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to clamp them down as far and as tight as you can with the 2.5 inch band. So you'll notice there's a tiny sliver of exhaust that's not covered up by the band, but that's why you got to be really careful and mark out where you need to cut. So I marked probably 2 or 3 times before I decided to end up cutting what I wanted to do. Now, once that's done, then you're going to put your O2 sensors in, just like I'm going to show you here in a little bit. But I'm going to get the other exhaust side in, and then I'm going to show you the O2 housings. So I will be back once I get the other pipe in, and I'll show you how we're going to do our O2 sensors. Be right back. I know it's going to be hard to see me, but we're getting ready to start the car. Josh is going to FaceTime his friend real quick and get her on the phone. You guys ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. Come on. I think the first time I got to start it while in the car. All right, I'm going to set you guys down real quick so you can still see this. Okay. All right, guys, there you have it. That's crazy. This is awesome. Woo! I'm hyped. No exhaust leak. That's something you guys need to check for whenever you're doing your own. You want to make sure the hood's open so that anything that comes through as far as exhaust leaks, you can see them right away. That way you know you can check and do it the correct way. So I'm going to shut the car off. I'm going to get everything out from under it, and I'm going to back it out of the garage. What we're going to do today is I'm getting ready to go drop this one back off. The toolkit that I was using to cut the exhaust system to make it fit up naturally. So I'm going to go ahead and run a cold start for you this morning. It sit out last night because it was raining, so it kind of got just a quick little bath from the rain to get some of the stuff off. So let's get to it. going to kind of give you my first impressions as far as driving it goes. It's at idle after it warms up. It's actually not too terribly more loud than it was with the stock headers, or with the stock manifolds, basically. Now, that completely changes when you open it up. I mean, insanely changes it. I'm going to try and find some video from when I had my first mid-muffler delete, to see if I can't pull some video to compare as far as inside the cabin goes. So as soon as we get across this intersection, I'm going to open it up just a little bit for you guys so you can kind of hear the difference, and if you see a before and after, you'll know what I mean. Have a bit more get up and go to it. So with that being said, there is a teeny tiny little exhaust leak because of the part that I messed up, but it's not much to worry about. I'm going to try and run and get it fixed today. I literally just need like a little sliver of pipe cut so that way I can get it put into place. Hey everybody, how's it going? So I just wanted to first off apologize for letting this video take so long to get out. And as you can see here, the car is back up on the ramps. Gonna be kind of going over it, and what I mean by going over it is in the instructions it states after 50 to 100 miles, I believe, I can't remember exactly which one it is, it says to actually go back over all the bolts, and you need to make sure to do that because they will, some of them will wiggle loose over time, and I've already gotten one knocked out that had come loose previous to doing this little section of video. So another thing is just letting you all know my surgery went pretty good. That's part of the reason why I haven't been editing these videos, because I've been laid up for a little while on painkillers. So some of you know I had a titanium rod put in my leg with bolts, and they finally took some of the bolts out because they were starting to back out of my thing. So I'm just kind of hanging out till this gets done, healing up, and then after that, I'll be making a lot more videos for you guys. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate that you guys understand what's going on. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to start knocking this car the rest of the way out. Thank you for watching today's video. I know it wasn't the most descriptive or informative, but it wasn't meant to be. It was kind of just to give you a general idea of what you can expect when going through the vehicle and through the process of putting long tube headers on. So with that being said, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe down below for more videos like this to come out in the future, and go ahead and hit that notifications button as well. It'll let you know when my new videos come out. I'm going to try and start doing videos every Wednesday or every Friday. I haven't really decided how I want to set this schedule up yet, but I need to make a schedule for you guys so that way you know about when my videos should be coming out. And now that this medical stuff's all taken care of, that's going to be a lot easier. So make sure to share this video around. It would really help me out, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good one.